Hello, Scott here, and this is Mastering of the Mind, Body, and Soul. For your return viewers, thank you for coming back and watching another video. And for all you new viewers, welcome. Hopefully, there's something that you're going to see or hear that resonates with you. And if it does, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Before I get into today's video, I would like to send a big thank you out to Lexi for acknowledging my Instagram channel, Longbowman62, on the Big Fat T last night. Your continued help and support of my channel is so greatly appreciated. Now, last several weeks, we've been going over a concept called rational emotive therapy. And today I've got another example that we're going to be R.E.T. And today's example, but before I get into today's example, I want to share with you again the 5 rational questions and importance questions. I think it's helpful to keep bringing these back so that it will help you remember them. Number one is my thinking or behavior based on facts? 2, does my thinking or behavior help me protect my life, health, or freedom? 3, does my thinking or behavior help me to achieve my goals now and in the future? 4, does my thinking or behavior help me to avoid unwanted conflicts with others? And 5, does my thinking or behavior help me feel the way I want to now and in the future? And the importance question is, will this situation be important to me to tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years from now? Now, having gone through that, I mentioned last week about how you're going to remember the 5 rational questions and importance question when you're in a situation where emotions are running high. And for me, when I was first learning this concept, the ones that stuck out in my mind is, does my thinking or behavior help me to avoid unwanted conflicts? And the next one is, does my thinking or behavior help me protect my life, health, or freedom? If you can think of those two in times in which you are angry, stressed, hurt, it may make working through that particular situation just a little bit easier. And as you use this concept more, you can begin to implement the others into that situation. But this week's example, the event is, a friend just told me my girlfriend has been flirting with another guy. Yeah, that's the event, and that's what happened. The self talk is, how could she? I should confront this guy. I can't stand a cheater. She wants somebody with more money and status. She can't be trusted. That's the self talk. That self talk creates the feeling. Feelings is angry, hurt, sad, betrayed. And then we've got to challenge that with the 5 rational questions and the importance question, which I just went over with you. And then once we do that, then we can get into our new feelings and come from the child part of our personality back up into our adult. Because when we're angry, hurt, sad, and betrayed, we're basing everything on feeling and emotions. And that's not a good thing. So we have to come up with a way to regain our rational thinking and logic. And we do that with the 5 rational questions and importance questions. So let's go over to the first one. Uh, is my thinking or behavior based on facts? Well, we start with, how could she? Well, we don't know if that's a fact because we did not hear that ourselves. We are relying on word of mouth from someone else. So is that based on a fact or opinion? Well, that's an opinion. And then the next one is, I should confront this guy. Is that based on a fact or opinion? Unless you actually confront this individual, you know, it's an opinion. And then on that piece of self-talk, that's where the first two things come into my mind. Does my thinking or behavior help me to avoid conflicts with others? And does my thinking or behavior help me to protect my life, health, or freedom? And then I can't stand a cheater. Well, is that based on a fact or opinion? That's an opinion as well. Because if she is cheating on you, you are standing it and you are taking it. And then she wants someone with more money and status. Is that based on fact or opinion? Well, it's an opinion. If that were the case, why would she get with you to begin with? If she was looking for someone that could give her more status or give her more money, she would have held off and not gotten into a relationship with you. And then she can't be trusted. Well, is that based on a fact or opinion? All right, once again, that's an opinion because evidently you trusted her. You trusted her enough that you got into a relationship with her. She's become your girlfriend. So this self talk is negative. So is it based on a fact or opinion? It's all based on an opinion. So we're going to put a no right there. And then number two, does my thinking or behavior help me protect my life, health, or freedom? As I mentioned previously, when you're thinking about going up and confronting this guy or maybe going up beside his head, is that going to help you protect your life, health, or freedom? Or if you confront your girlfriend and the argument escalates and you say or do something that you regret later, then definitely it is not going to help you protect your life, health, or your freedom. So we have to put a no there as well. And in three, does my thinking or behavior help me to achieve my goals now and in the future? Now, this self talk, is not helping you to achieve your goals now and in the future. As we've said previously, when the self talk creates the anger, the hurt, the betrayal, and the sadness, then it's not going to help you to achieve your goals and having a happy and fulfilling relationship, if that's what you're wanting. And then number four, does my thinking or behavior help me to avoid unwanted conflicts with others? Well, definitely, this self-talk is not going to help you to avoid conflicts with others. It's going to create them. Let me put a no by number four as well, and or three, and then I'll go to number four because in my mind, if this were me, yeah, I would want to have more facts. I want to be on a solid ground. I don't want to be jumping to conclusions. And if there was no reason for me to believe that she was unfaithful, then I need to put that trust in her. So number four, does my thinking and behavior help me to avoid unwanted conflicts with others? No. And then five, does my thinking or behavior help me feel the way I want to now and in the future? Well, when you're feeling angry, hurt, sad, and betrayed, that's not the way most people want to go around living life. So therefore, that's going to be a no as well. So when we look at the five rational questions, the importance questions, we see that when we answered each and every one of those, they have all been a no. So that tells us that our self-talk, which is creating feelings and emotions, is negative and can cause problems as we move into the future. And then we have to ask ourselves, will this situation be important to me tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years from now? Well, until you have an opportunity to sit down and talk this situation out, it might be a problem. But once you've had that opportunity to do that, then that particular situation will not be important to you. It'll be something that's done and in the past. But our new feelings are this. I'm not going to jump to conclusions, just as I previously stated. You know, we need something more than someone's word of mouth. You know, she has always been honest. So if she's not giving you any indication that she's unfaithful or untrustworthy, then don't read anything more into that. And then my friend doesn't like her. Well, we see that happen quite a bit, where a friend doesn't like someone else's girlfriend, and tries to throw a wedge in between that relationship. So knowing that, we have to take whatever he says with a grain of salt. And we just need to talk about this, which, I agree. Because if you let it stay inside, fester up, and then you finally come to the point where you blow up and everything boils over, that's not a good situation. And I do really care about her. So if you care about her, then you're going to put in the time and effort to overcome the challenges and obstacles that occur in relationships. I mean, relationships are not going to be, happy all the time. There's going to be disagreements, and there's going to be times where you don't see eye to eye. But being able to communicate effectively and honestly without raising your voice or saying harsh words will go a lot further in resolving a situation than it would be if you start saying some hurtful things. Once you say something, it can't be taken back. You know, that person may forgive you for whatever that you said, but it's highly unlikely that they will ever forget what was said. So words are powerful. You have to be very careful about what you say and also of what you do. So with that, that brings us to the end of this particular uh, example. But as always, uh, as we end the video, I'd like to say to you, teamwork makes the dream work. Believe it to achieve it, and that I believe in you. And I've said that each and every week since this channel has begun, and I'm going to continue to say that. And I want you to believe in yourself. Also, I want you to do an act of kindness. Uh, there's few and far between in this day and age. Everyone has their own life, and they don't really think about what someone else may be going through. And that act of kindness or that uh, kind word may make all the difference in the world to that person that you are interacting with. Uh, we live in a very stressful world, fast paced, and sometimes all the things that are going on in life, it can build up and it can cause problems for not only uh, yourself, but those that you care about. And you have to be careful about who you're associating with. And I have an acronym for you today. It's called CHANGE. And that's what uh, we've been talking about since the channel began. What does each one of those letters stand for? Can't hang around negative group energy. Can't hang out with toxic people. Can't fly like an eagle when you hang out with a bunch of buzzards. Yeah, you got to change playmates and play pins. So if you're involving yourself with negative people in negative places, doing negative things, there's not much chance of you going to change. So I would like to end the video with 101 ways to beat stress. I'm not going to go over 101 of them tonight. I'm just going to go over them over the next several weeks. The first one is hang a do not disturb sign on your door. You know, sometimes you just need to get away and be by yourself and contemplate. 2, read a book that you've been thinking about. 3, exercise more often. Exercise increases that dopamine, which helps you to feel better. 4, take a daily nap. I love those. 5, visit an art museum. 6, make love. 7, browse a bookstore. I love going to the bookstores. And 8, go to a flea market. I like those as well. I like seeing all the different things that are at the market, and try painting a picture. Yeah. And then visit a church or cathedral. Do things that will enrich your life, that will lower the stress that you encounter each and every day during the course of your daily activities. So with that, I'd like to say, may God bless you, and much love and light to you.